to the very first edition of the WOW podcast. Why WOW, I hear you ask? Well, we have four wise men and a podcast named after our Lord and Saviour. It's not Jesus Christ, it's Paul Heyman, King of the Jews. My name is Jay-Z. Sadly, not married to Beyonce, but let me tell you now, I do believe in Joe Hendry. And it's over to you, the grandpa.
It's me, it's the granddaddy. I'm here with all the historical facts, everything from late 1998 till now. I'm your guy. And maybe some bit beforehand.
I'm Reuben and I love wrestling.
Here for the vibes, I like it. EK?
Yeah, I'm EK. In terms of an intro, I have no idea what to say. This is just me being me. I'm just going to give you all the facts that I can. Probably give you some crap opinions, but you know what? It is what it is. And wise men of wrestling. Let's give it a go, right?
Nice. So, why are we all doing the podcast? Well, lads, it's over to you, EK. I'm going to let you go first, mate.
Yeah, mate, I'll go first. I mean, massive fan of wrestling since the age of 5. Pretty much forced to watch it by my dad, but then fell in love with it. And since then, he's not really watched it. So I've kind of taken the mantelpiece from there. It's been a long journey. I feel like we've kind of finally got to this point where we've all got the courage to actually say our opinions on it, really. But in terms of, I just wanted to do something that kind of gets my hobbies out there, and I just love wrestling. So this is just a good idea. To do it.
Allows him to, meet Liv Morgan.
I mean, look, that's always got to be the main aim of this. When we eventually get big, because realistically it's going to happen. I will end up meeting Liv Morgan. So go on, Grandpa, on to you, mate.
Well, I'm doing this because, I've been watching it since I was young. So I'm watching late 98, early 99, and I've just been hooked ever since, never really wavered. Yeah, I watched a bit of every promotion, WCW, ECW, TNA, even gave AEW a try. Not for me, but you do you.
It's not for anyone, right?
Well, unless you're a sicko, according to Tony Hawk. Tony Khan.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But yeah, but also, I want to stay on the island of relevancy, and currently wrestling is relevant. Wrestling is fun again. And also, of course, to me, our Lord and Saviour, Paul Heyman. And what about you, Josie?
So, first of all, I would like to say that Ollie's dream match, aka the grandpa, is genuinely a winner kisses Paul Heyman's ass match. Why am I here? Well, you see, when you are a man of many talents, including crippling anxiety and social anxiety, you have to get your weekly social activities out of the way. And on that note, Rubes, over to you.
Let's be real, I'm just here for the vibes.
So, as it's our first week, we thought we would break things down a little bit more for you and start it off simple. We're going to give our top 10 male wrestlers of all time and why. However, before we do that, we think it's really important that we give some honourable mentions here on the WOW podcast, just as God did to his Jewish people. So, with that in mind, each person has a maximum of 5 honorary mentions, and I will be kicking things off. Rather than going one by one, we're just going to list these off at the same time, and then everyone's probably going to call me a stupid twat. But it's fine. We are where we are. So, number 1 on the honorary mentions list for me, Mr. Santino Marella, John Cena himself, unbelievable, biggest comedian WWE's ever had, probably one of the most unique introductions to the company in terms of being pulled out of the crowd. Unbelievable, did everything that was asked of him, never complained. What a fucking guy. Number 2, Shawn Michaels, HBK, talks for itself, don't need to go into it. Number 3, the man I wish I was, he lies, he cheats, he steals, Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace. What a guy.
So you also want to wish you were him right now, do you?
He's going to say.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit thinner, but yeah.
Exactly. Next, number 4. It's not Kurt Angle, it's Perk Angle. Specifically the Perk Angle era. And then number 5, I had a real toss-up. It was between 2 people. The first of which was Finn Balor. I think just, again, a very unique guy. Obviously represents sort of UK and Irish wrestling really, really well and super, super talented. However, there is only one name, and as I mentioned earlier, I believe in him. It's Joe Hendry at number 5. EK. Over to you. Give us your honorary 5.
Mate, fair play on the John Cena. You know, I do respect that quite a lot. I mean,
good call.
I'm not gonna lie, he didn't make my top 10 or my honorary mentions, but he was very, very close. I mean, I almost went for Santina, but you know that's to come later on. In terms of top 5, number 1, honorary mentions, Triple H. He was very close to making my top 10, but I just kind of found that I wasn't a massive fan of him growing up. I respect him quite a lot, but I wasn't a massive fan of his work. Eddie Guerrero, I mean, what a man. Taken way too early. He would probably still be wrestling now, the absolute lunatic. Number 3, Bret Hart. I mean, just an absolute unbelievable wrestler. One of the best technically gifted wrestlers of all time. Can't really not mention him. 4, Seth Rollins. I think for now, he's definitely the modern HBK, Bret Hart. I mean, he's just that guy that just keeps going. He's just incredibly gifted. And I think he'll still be going for the next 10 years as well. Definitely complete Hall of Famer, 100%. And then number 5, I went for the Ric Flair. You know, you can't not go for Ric Flair. 16 world titles speaks for itself. Didn't make my top 10, mainly because he's a twat. But you know what? I thought I'd give him an honorary mention just because when you're number 1, you can't not really. Over to you, Grandpa.
Well, I have some opinions on Ric Flair, which I'm sure we'll get onto at some point.
Good or bad?
A bit of both. So
he'd probably accept that, to be fair.
it's no surprise that my first honorable mention is, of course, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, just absolute legend, and he's so missed today. I'm imagining him against like Carmelo Hayes or even Austin Theory. He could get a match out of anyone.
Oof. What
And
guy?
then, of course, the Yes Man, Daniel Bryan, the current AEW heavyweight champion, but this is, of course, WWE. Daniel Bryan, specifically like the Yes era, like Team Hell No, Yes era, because this was the time I really kind of was like, yes, this is the guy, this is my guy. He's short, he's got a beard, he represents me. And
You
then-
are short and you do have a beard, so fair play.
Yeah. Bit of interesting one coming up. My third one is Umaga. I always felt he was incredibly underrated. He could have easily have been heavyweight champion, gone too soon, and he took what could easily be construed as a racist kind of islander gimmick and made it terrifying. And also, he was responsible for the debut of Santino and Marella. So,
True.
this one, number 4, Bray Wyatt. The fact that he's gone still hurts me. I'm a huge horror fan, and when he came into The Fiend and did all of the Swamp Father stuff and the Wyatt family, it was like my 2 worlds combined. Of course, I love the White 6, but he is missed sorely, and it just hurts a lot still. Fun fact, I share a birthday with Bray Dallas, so that's pretty cool. Also, Roman Reigns as well.
Nice.
The original Tribal Chief.
The only tribal chief.
Exactly. Bucks Sakawa.
There you go.
So for me, my honorary mentions are Shawn Michaels. He speaks for himself. I've seen a few clips, but during his prime, I never really watched him because I only really started watching wrestling about 2011. To be fair, same for Stone Cold. I've seen a lot of his gimmicks, a lot of his in-ring performances. He's world class, and on the mic, he's a different level. Obviously, I put Joe Hendry in there because he's a fan favourite and everyone loves him. I put R-Truth because he's amazing on the mic. He's amazing everywhere. He's part of the Awesome Truth tag team, and he's part of a lot of like gimmicks, funny gimmicks to get the fans entertained and being silly, being stupid. And
Do you know what? Elliot shook his head there, or should I say Mr. EK, and I have to say, I don't agree with you, mate. Do you know what? R-Truth, I think it's a solid shout. He's on time to need it.
I'll have more to say on R-Truth a bit later, because he will be making an appearance.
No, you know what? I respect him a lot. He's absolutely hilarious. There's no one that does exactly what he does. 100%. Like, I'm not gonna say he's not incredible. I mean, how he's still doing it, and he's in his 50s, and he looks like he's still like 33.
Younger than you, mate.
Yeah, pretty much. It's more just the kind of, I don't see him as a top star, and it's disappointing because he should be, because he's been there for so long, and he's been a world champion in other different companies before coming to WWE, which not a lot of people actually know. But I think the fact of the matter is he's been given a shit gimmick for years, but he's just made it into gold, which shows how good he is, but it also shows that they don't see him on the level that he should be, which is a multiple-time world champion.
You could argue that maybe he is where he's meant to be, supporting those around him, making them look really good, as well as making himself look good and keeping himself relevant.
I do think he elevates talent.
I'm
not saying he doesn't elevate.
The fact that he was, obviously evolved the story with him in the Miz, but the fact is that he was like, I'll take those tsunami splashes. I'll help this guy look like a monster. And I believe that. I mean, Bronson Reed is someone who could be on my list in the future years.
And Bronson Reed looks like a monster, but he should have been a monster a couple of years ago, and he's not really. Well, he was given all the tools that he's had. We'll get on to him in a minute. We're still on the Truth Man. All right.
Right.
Look,
What's up?
I don't disagree with him being on the list. He's just not on mine.
I think that's fair enough. Rubes, any more?
And my last honorary mention, we're going back like a lot of years, is Lord Tensai.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Wait. If you said Albert, I would be on there, because Prince Albert was one. But Tensai, what a fucking flop!
I actually disagree with that.
He's not a flop.
He's not a flop.
With John Cena at Extreme Rules.
No. He was not a flop until he got literally fed to Cena. He literally beaten everyone else.
Because everyone knew he was fucking Albert.
Yeah, of course.
So he's in the ring, and you're still getting their shade or fat chance.
But Oliver, you still get that on the streets. Come on, man. I think, you know what? I don't agree with him being an honorary mention, but I get it.
And then they made him Hip Hop Hippo, or whatever it was they called him.
So, moving on to our top 10s. I think I'm going to start here.
So coming in at number 10.
It is quite a surprising one, I think, actually, for most people. I've gone with Kevin Owens. Okay. And the reason I say that is, as someone who, around the time that Kevin was, at the end of his NXT stint and coming up to the main roster, I was a bit in and out of wrestling at that time. And, when he came out and the whole feud with Cena and just dropping him and the apron power bombs, it just kind of, it lit a fire inside of me. And actually it made me, for the first time in a long time, just want to watch on. And I think he's one of the real reasons, obviously we'll come on to the GOAT, we'll come on to Mr. John Cena at some point later. But John Cena, indeed. Hello, John Cena. But, I just, there's something there for me with KO, and I think even in these last few years, right, I think we'll all agree that he's probably not been in the position that someone of his star power should be, but also wants to be. I think he's been quite open about that, but I've never once seen him complain. I think he just gets on with it. He's a company man. He cares. He puts over those that need to be put over. He gets himself in great positions. Even if you look at the recent sort of the Bash in Berlin with Cody. Another brilliant match, obviously soul crushing for him. They're making a point that it's 7 years since he last held the world title, but he does it all. He's exciting, and even his moveset for someone of sort of his size, his stature, his nature, you don't expect to see him cannonballing people. It'd be like, for me, it's like Mark Henry doing 10 splashes in a row off the top rope. It's
taking
crazy.
10 minutes to get up the top rope.
Precisely, and so the stuff that he can do, his ability on the microphone, his ridiculous tattoos, which I think are ridiculous, but at the same time I think are bloody cool. I just think, what a guy, and really, really great guy, and super deserving always of his every position.
I mean, I have an opinion on that. I think, look, he's a great worker. No doubt he's a great worker. And unbelievable on the mic. He scares the shit out of people when he starts talking sometimes, because all he does is start screaming. But I don't know. I wouldn't put him in my top 10 just because I don't think he's earned that yet. I think he's getting there. I think he's getting in positions that he should be in. He should have been in a while ago. But you've convinced me he should have got an honorary mention. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe I should have put him on an honorary mention. But for me, I just sort of had a lull on him, especially since he had WrestleMania. I think it was 39 when he won the titles with Sami Zayn, and that kind of brought me back into him. And again, he kind of went on his lull. But since he's been doing stuff with Cody and Randy Orton, and I loved when he had Team RKO at WrestleMania, it brought me back into him. And I love doing the storyline of has he lost his edge because he couldn't quite hit the 8th powerbomb on Cody. I'm intrigued to see where this can go. But yeah,
I can't wait for him to turn heel again.
Oh yeah, him heel. Maybe do a heel tag team of him and Randy Orton against Cody.
I mean,
there is only one heel tag team for Mr. Kevin Owens, and I will be talking about it very shortly. So that is all I will say. Rubes?
I just wasn't a fan of Kevin Owens, to be fair. Like, he's done a few good things, but he's on the mic. I don't think he's the best, because they tried to broadcast or pitch this RKO show. In the ring, and I thought it was just a terrible sin, and he just wasn't great in it. So wrestling wise, I don't think it just made him that great.
Yeah, I mean, if chat show stuff work, doesn't work. That's a conversation for another day. EK?
Yeah, I mean, all right, I'll go into mine then. In terms of number 10, we're not talking about his political views because now he's gone into politics, but Kane, I mean, what an absolute weapon Kane was back in the day. I mean, he's still a weapon now. If anyone's seen him do any of the DDP yoga, he looks like bigger and actually better than he did back in the day. But I still get nightmares about him when he takes that mask off. But he should have been a multiple time world champion, in my opinion. And for some odd reason, they let the ball go with him. And I'm very disappointed in Vince McMahon, let's put it that way. Not for just that, but for multiple reasons. So yeah, Kane.
So I've got a bit of a take on this, and I think, unfortunately for Kane, I think it was done for him in terms of being the top man as soon as he was revealed essentially as Taker's brother. And I think therein lied his problem. I think he was obviously associated to one of the greatest to ever do it in any wrestling company, in any era. As someone so unique. Obviously, Kane had a unique gig, but equally, his whole shtick was, in a way, similar to The Undertaker. They were obviously the Brothers of Destruction for long enough together. I think the angle with Paul Bearer, obviously, when he was between Taker and he then went with Kane. Great. Kane. Exactly. Exactly. And I think it was really unique, and I think it was a great idea, but I just think ultimately at the point in which he was introduced as Undertaker's brother, it's like hitting a brick wall, I think it's very stunting to the momentum. However, his greatest thing ever, May 19th. No one ever mentioned that date around the big man.
Never.
I have to say, I do agree with that being constantly associated with Undertaker was a problem, but they did make it work. And my biggest concern was when they unmasked him, was what do you do after that? But it worked, and I have to say, See No Evil isn't a bad movie. I will argue that point.
I haven't seen it, I can't tell you.
I feel they ruined Kane when they made him a comedy character. When they made the whole thing with Daniel Bryan, when they had the whole thing about when they went into counselling together, was ridiculous.
Oh man, that was great. That was complete character building.
But they ruined the character in general of him being.
The character was different then, so
that was complete character building, mate. In terms of I think that just completely built towards his character, and that's actually cemented for me his top 10. That shows he's not just an absolute weapon and a machine and a bad guy. He can be a bit of everything.
Well, my number 10, we've talked about him already. It's Mr. R-Truth.
People over there, what's up?
I know it's a bit weird when I think your top 10, but I love him. I loved him when he was Kate Quick and with Road Dogg. Get rowdy! I loved that stuff. I loved it when he went to TNA and became Ron Killings on the NWA Championship. And then when he came back and it was R-Truth. And yes, it was just Kate Quick, the fresh coat of paint, but he made it work and he stuck it out. The man is over 50 years old, but he moves like he's 30. He will do whatever's asked of him. He's made the stuff work with The Miz. He's made that work because The Miz, what he really wants to, he can be good. The man is doing this for fun. He's not doing it being like, I demand one total shot. No, he's doing it for fun at this point.
Do you know what? I think we've spoken a lot about Mr. R-Truth, aka Ron Killings, this evening. So I think we can quickly say,
AKA 24/7, 4811,
I-95 Chicago South champion of the world,
big guy.
Exactly. So I think, fair enough. I think we've kind of said all that needs saying on him. I think, he is a guy who, again, will work hard and he will elevate people. So I'm going to pass back over to Rubes to give the final word on his legend and then give us his number 10.
So, like I said, we've spoken enough about R-Truth, so I'm just going to crack on number 10. So my number 10 may not agree with everyone, but he's the realest guy in the room. Bada bing, bada boom. It is Enzo Amore.
Oh, I have feelings.
Oh my god.
I thought his character was so good. Gimmick, he got the whole crowd involved. I know he had Big Cass at one point, and a feud with Big Cass, but I thought the partnership was genius. Like, just the fan intervention was so good, and I think, just on the mic, he was out of this world. So, yeah.
I'm gonna give a very, very quick rundown here of what is wrong with all of this. The first thing being, we're not going to go into it, a series of terrible allegations. The second thing being, every single one of his colleagues hated him. The third thing being, the dick had leopard print in his flaming hair. The fourth point being, he was outgunned and outmatched and outshone by being next to Carmella. The fourth thing, or probably fifth thing at this point, being Big Cass, probably a better wrestler of the two.
Also,
I have to be honest.
But yeah.
Also an arsehole, exactly.
And he was loved when he was in London. They went big for Big Bill.
Shock horror.
Big Bill and his little Bill.
Well, he was known as Big Bill now.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho's learning tree.
Oh yeah.
Also,
crap.
he didn't do it for very long. He got himself booted out of WWE, which just isn't a surprise. He screwed up his gimmick when he was on 205 Live.
I actually disagree with that. I don't think he screwed up there because he was built as an absolute star on 205 Live. He was the only star on 205 Live at that point.
The bloke had a letter saying that people couldn't hit him from a doctor and ran around poncying that around the fucking ring.
Didn't matter. No one else. Because I was watching 205 Live back then, and the only
You must have been their one and only.
Well, probably one and only.
Yes.
The only reason I would watch it was for Enzo Amore, just because he was actually hilarious.
He's so good on the mic, that's why, I don't know.
But that's all he was. He was a great promo, and then the bell rang.
Oh, 100%. He can't wrestle, but it's
He didn't have a finisher. He never saw one.
Fair enough.
Okay. Enzo Amore. I mean, no one. I'm not going to say I would put in my top 10 or even honorary mention, but it's actually hilarious that he has done this, and fair play.
Reuben, you are SAWFT.
Soft. Nice. On that note, I will kick it off with number 9. Number 9, I think we spoke about him just a moment ago. It's not Kane, it is The Undertaker instead.
That's very, very low.
So much to say about The Undertaker. I know he's slightly low on my list, but you'll start to see why as we kind of go on a bit. I've got a real blended mix of sort of eras, sort of this newer era and sort of the older era when I was growing up, etc. So, Taker, what is there to say? I mean, as a kid, he scared me shitless. He's been so dynamic throughout his career. He's obviously been The Undertaker himself in his sort of funeral format, shall we say. Obviously, he was the American Badass. There was obviously sort of the Taker before that when he first came in, the one that wore the really weird tie. I mean, he's just amazing. You know, no one put the fear into people, in my opinion, the way that The Undertaker did. Maybe the Boogeyman, but for very different reasons. He was just a bloke who ate worms. But specifically for me with Taker, you know, even though sort of growing up, I had you know, a Taker where he was on his own and he didn't have Paul Bearer. But I actually think, you know, as someone that's watched back a lot of their old episodes and stuff, just everything he did with Paul Bearer was incredible. You know, I think Paul was the perfect person for him at that time. Very unique. Again, just someone that really stood out. But also just in general, you know, it was a shame, obviously, to see the way that things ended with Undertaker in terms of basically crawling out the ring out of breath because he just went that bit too long. I think WWE will look back in quite a few years, if not already. They will probably regret having Brock Lesnar end his streak. Again, that's one man's opinion. But, you know, just longevity, the streak, the way that he'd be scaring people, you know, I just think it had to be what it had to be, you know?
Now, you know what? Let's talk about that.
I'll talk about Taker a bit later because he appears quite a way later in my list.
There's a
But I
question
think you
there.
make some really good points.
Got a question.
I have a fun fact.
Okay, fun fact first. Go on.
When Undertaker first came in, everyone thought he was going to be in the giant egg at Survivor Series, which turned out to be the dancing turkey. But also
Also
at
on
one point
Reuben's
they
list.
trialled a ring name for him as Kane the Undertaker, and this was before Kane was even considered a thought. And Kane had some interesting pre-Kane gimmicks. Maybe
What?
for a future episode we can talk about that.
Isaac Yankel.
Yankel, not Yankel.
Whatever, that still makes sense. Look, Undertaker, great, unbelievable, should be on everyone's list. Like one of if not the greatest of all time, considering the longevity that he had. Should Brock Lesnar have broken his streak? No, 100% not. He didn't need it. There was no need for him to break it. It was just a complete stupid decision by Vince McMahon, off the cuff. Probably didn't even think about it. And if he had 5 minutes to sit there and think, should I do this back then, he probably wouldn't have done it. Whether or not Roman Reigns would have been the one to break it or someone else would have done it a couple of years after, who knows? But realistically, I think that actually tainted his whole legacy. Having someone like Brock Lesnar break it for no reason wasn't necessary at the time. It probably didn't need to be broken at all, to be honest with you. So yeah, I do agree with him being on the list. He's not my number 9 though. He's on there at some point. My number 9, HBK Shawn Michaels. I struggled to get him in, but I had to get him in just because he is just probably the most technically gifted wrestler of all time. And there's no one that will get anywhere near him. And I think as soon as he threw Mark Jannetty into the class, he cemented his legacy for me. I mean, he was an absolute star. Obviously broke his back, came back somehow. Obviously, was it 7 years later? It was quite a while after.
2002, he came back. In 1998, he got injured, so it's something like that.
I mean, he looked exactly the same.
About 4 years or so.
Longevity, unbelievable on the mic. Obviously part of DX, which is a great stable. So yeah, he's in my top 10, number 9.
And you forgot his biggest moment. He kicked Stan!
Oh, that's true.
I
kicked Stan.
I've kind of gone down the modern route with this one, and it's a guy who I just find really just awesome to watch. It's the Ring General Gunther. Now, I remember when he was walked out on the Indies, I remember hearing about this guy and just thinking, okay, he's a big fat German, what's interesting about him? And then he came, Austrian, sorry. And then I heard a lot about his chops, and I thought, okay, watched a few videos. I thought, ow. And then I watched him in NXT UK, and I thought, I like this guy. And he had unbeaten in there, got beaten in the end by Tyler Bate, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then he went to NXT, when he was huge then, and since he's been on the main roster, he's just been, to quote Sheamus, banger after banger after banger. Dragunov, you've got to get Dragunov against Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. I mean, his match against Randy Orton, I think for me, will be one of the best, my favourite matches of the year. The way it was paced, everything about it, and just the presence, everything about it. And the fact that it was got Ludwig Kaiser in there as well. He was a great second. Also, great on his own. Future, honourable mention, even future top 10 in the next years. Who knows?
Fair enough. Do you know what? I'm not mad at that. He's not on my list. He's not on my honourable mentions, but what I will say is, even his run before he's obviously just made it to the World Heavyweight Championship, his run during the Intercontinental Championship was incredible, very deserving. I think he is a prime example of actually being booked really well thanks to Hunter.
Yep.
And he genuinely is in my opinion, the one to watch to probably end up making people's lists in a couple of years' time. I think he's fantastic. So
Really only loses once a year, doesn't he?
yeah, literally
His rating was 666. Toss it off for me.
unbelievable. So Rubes, over to you for your number 9, my friend.
Just following on Gunther, I think he's terrible in the mic.
I have hard disagree. He's very a classic type of promo.
Nah, I don't think he's that great. Yeah, it's just he doesn't get the crowd involved like a lot.
Doesn't need to. They boo him anyway.
I mean,
That's the point.
He's a German on an American, Austrian German on American.
He just needs to
TV.
shut up when they boo him. He doesn't even need to say anything. That's his shtick anyway. Like, that's how good he is. He can
And
just
the whole point is
get the
that
pay team without
basically
doing
he's
anything.
better than you. He knows it. And the fact is,
I wish we could have videoed that.
the man commands respect in the ring. All hail the ring in general.
Yeah, so my number 9. Again, not everyone's top 10.
Oh god,
It
here we go.
is Fandango.
Oh my
You know,
god.
He was so good. He was so good at getting the crowd involved. Just up off their feet, dancing, having a laugh.
I'm waiting for Tyler Breeze to be on this list now.
Again, he wasn't the best in ring, but he just got everyone involved. He was really good at promos when he was in there. I don't know. For me, he makes easily top 10.
Rubes, this might be our first and only episode, thanks to you. We will end up seeing you next week, and it will be a 3-person podcast. All in favour of Rubes being gone. Say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Listen, I'm going to pass over to Elliot really quickly, and we'll wrap up on number 9 very shortly. But Rubes, mate, just let me know what hospital to drop you off at, mate.
Fandango.
Don't represent
Fandango. Seriously.
Brilliant, honestly.
I mean, okay. Yes, really, really funny in terms of he was great for the crowd and everything, but in my opinion, his career just completely dropped off the radar by winning his first match at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho. Nothing happened afterwards. He didn't get anything. It was pointless.
Well, I don't agree he should be a top 10. I will argue 2 points. One, his stuff with Breeze as Breezango was comedy gold. I did the Fashion Files. I did like that. And I do think what he did with the Fandangoing was really cool. The song went to number 1, and then you had the whole thing of, look at them, they're Fandangoing. I love it, Maggle. It just killed it dead.
Yeah, but you got the same thing now with Joe Hendry getting his thing to number 1. All of a sudden, he could just go completely off the radar.
Yeah, but it's Joe Hendry.
Is he going to be another Fandango?
The thing is, Joe Hendry can pull it off in the ring. Fandango, meh.
He could put it off in the ring. He just wasn't given the chance to. Honestly, the biggest question on Joe Hendry's career now is he just going to be another Fandango?
We'll go into that at another point, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Moving on to number...
That's a whole
Whole
episode.
nother podcast, yeah.
That's a whole episode, guys.
Moving on to number 8, I'm about to get myself absolutely slaughtered, either by everyone in the room or potentially all of our 1 listeners, which probably will be me. At number 8, I'm going to actually kick it off with a real surprise for me, considering I have the best opinions on everything ever, obviously. I've put the great one. I've put The Rock. at number 8.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're all
It
going to
doesn't
have...
matter what your opinion is.
Exactly.
It does not matter what you think. I mean, that is
Do you know
something.
what, for me, I love The Rock. I love Hollywood Rock. I don't love the stuff that they did at WrestleMania with the Bloodline. I have to be honest.
Well, he's coming back, and it's going to be exactly the same. So you're
Yeah,
going
but
to.
I think it's going to be better now that he's back. When he comes back, rather, because they've got a Bloodline versus Bloodline angle. I don't think he belonged in that main event scene. I don't think it helped things. I think there was a lot of lying from WWE around the angle of that. I think they clearly wanted The Rock versus Roman, and I think they played themselves with Cody winning the Rumble, and I think they got themselves in a huge tiff. However, that being said, The Rock is obviously one of the greatest of all time. I think a lot of it is down to personal preference. Most of The Rock's good stuff, I was probably that bit too young to enjoy. I think SmackDown started in 96, I believe. Or
No, it was
99.
99. So I still would have only been 3 at the time. So, and obviously it was a completely different era then. It wasn't PG. I never would have been allowed anywhere near it. And that's when The Rock, for me, really was at his best looking back at it. And I think, for me, there are other people whose careers I've had to enjoy at their peak, or what I would consider their peak era. And also, I just think everything that happened with The Rock in 2008 with John Cena, the repeat at WrestleMania was just an absolute... It was just an absolute shambles for me. So before anyone can debate this any further, because I'm sure it's going to be on everyone's list, I'm going to pass over to Mr. EK, and he can give us his number 8.
Yeah, number 8 for me is LA Knight, my guy, the absolute machine, the weapon, the big man himself. I'm quite upset I couldn't put him as number 1, mainly because he hasn't earned that yet. But has to be in my top 10. I mean, for me, I'm not gonna lie. Before this new era kind of took place, I followed him in NXT. I followed him before. He has just been a star for a long, long time. And finally got his chance. And to be honest with you, he's number 8 because he finally beat that stupid prick Logan Paul, who should not have been anywhere near. And it should not have been anywhere near the title reign. And thankfully, he is out of here. Yeah.
My number 8, actually, quite ironic to follow number 9. It's the Viper, Randy Orton. One of my all-time favorites, have been since he came in. So glad he ditched the original finisher and brought in the RKO. His stuff with Evolution was amazing. His feud with Mick Foley, for me, is one of the best. The promo, the backstage, the match at Backlash, the man just keeps getting better. He's been part of so many iconic moments. And I'm going to put it down here in recording that next year, at some point, we're going to get heel Randy Orton after he beats Cody Rhodes for the title versus John Cena. John Cena will beat him to break the record.
Agree. 100%.
I agree on that
agree.
So my number 8 is not controversial.
Has 9 and 10 not been controversial?
Loads of people would put this person way up because he elevates people who happily take the L to elevate just someone's career. He was part of in my lifetime, one of the greatest factions. So my number 8 is Seth Rollins.
Whoa,
Okay, that was unexpected. I was really waiting for a miss.
The reason I didn't put him higher is because I believe he had a gimmick after he turned heel on the Shield, and I think it lasted too long. His whole gimmick of having these two, I don't even know their names, but
Jamie Noble and Johnny
Moxley. The two people next to him, I think that just lasted too long, and it just outshone him.
Do you know what? Seth is not on my list. I can obviously reveal that. But
oh my god,
it's not on your list. What's going on?
I thought about it, but I had.
Yeah, I thought about it as well, but do you know what, Rubes? For you, my friend, that's a relatively tame and sensible thing.
You know what?
That's
the first tick of the night for you.
Have
a biscuit.
It's going to be back next week, I think, after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's earned his rent here now.
So, on to number 7. I'm not going to break the fourth wall, but I am going to break walls down, and I'm going to give it to Mr. Chris Jericho, Y2K. Say anything wrong, and there's only one thing I'm going to say back, and that is, you just made the list! What a guy. I mean, he's a genius. I don't care for that other show at the moment, but the fact that he is still wrestling, the fact that he's reinventing himself, again, longevity. I think there was so much more for him in WWE. I think he should have been a multiple time world champion, more than he was.
I think the way in which he won his first world title and then it was taken away from him was a load of nonsense. Just an unbelievable guy. And if anyone disagrees, they can fuck themselves. And I'm going to go pop a little bit of the bubbly.
I love Jericho, don't get me wrong, but it's exactly the stuff on AEW that's put me on the list. I feel like he's got to that point now where he's more concerned with getting himself over than everyone else. I mean, think about it. Sammy Guevara was aligned with him for a long time. And now where is he? The injury stuff is fine, but the question is, should he now take a step back for a bit, maybe do an injury angle, go away, because the whole thing of absence make the heart grow fonder. The fans are revolting against him. They keep saying to him, retire, please go away, you're on the programming way too much.
I get it. Yeah. I get it, but I was actually listening to him on the CVC podcast recently. Obviously, Chris Van Vliet does a wonderful job. And, you know, he was saying why he felt that he had, like, one of the reasons that he had to leave WWE is obviously that they're doing 4 or 5 shows a week, you know, sort of 50 weeks a year, which was, I think it was over like 200 shows. Whereas at that other place, he's only expected to do 52 shows. And at his age, you know, with his body specifically, as we've said, not everyone's an R-Truth. Listen, I think he's done what he had to do for himself. I get it. I completely appreciate it. Is it his best stuff at the moment? No, obviously not. But also, you know, he has a life outside of that now. He's obviously got the rock band. And there's obviously a lot going on for him in his older age. So I get it. I think I just look at him for what he is. And again, that is, you know, one of those sort of childhood loves and childhood memories, and just, you know, the lights going off and breaking the code around the new millennium. And again, you know, the shiny jacket coming up, you know, with all the lights. I just think it's so, so unique. And again, it's just someone who will always, in my opinion, stick out from the crowd. EK, over to you, and then perhaps you can give us your number 7 after.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was very, very close to putting Y2J in my top 10. I wrote him down as an honorary mention, but then took him out for Rollins. I think he's look, there's no doubt, if you want to look at one person in terms of complete longevity and just being exactly the same the whole way through his career, it's Chris Jericho. He's still as good now as he was when he started. But no, I think what he's been doing in AEW, some of it's been good, but the rest has just completely tainted it for me, unfortunately. So yeah, he didn't make my list. Now, number 7 for me, quite surprised he didn't go a bit higher up, is Randy Orton. I know Grandpa mentioned it just before. I mean, he is unbelievable. How he looks better now than he did when he started is ridiculous. But yeah, he's 7th on my list.
And, well, my number 7, we've talked about him already. It's the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. As much as obviously I love classic Shawn Michaels, for me, my Shawn Michaels started watching when he came in as part of NWA in 2002, and he's just been brilliant. He's adapted so well, and now what he's doing with NXT is just unbelievable.
My number 7, again.
Oh God, here we go.
You can stop saying it's controversial at this point. We know that they're all going to be controversial.
He was a former world heavyweight champion.
Mr. McMahon?
And he had
I swear, if it's Jinder right now.
Ring announcer. It's Alberto Del Rio.
Oh God.
He was so good on the mic. He was so good in the ring. The whole gimmick was brilliant. I know he had some off-field antics.
You can put it there.
Oh, that's very mild.
Off-field antics.
I know.
Jeez, yeah.
I thought the whole thing was brilliant with him. And the cars he drove out in were
You mean
magnificent.
Ricardo drove out it?
Yeah.
Listen, I think between us all, the less said, the better there on that one. So we'll move on to number 6. Rubes, as this man would quite plainly, truthfully, honestly say, suck it. He is the current chief content officer. It is Hunter himself, Triple H. I do not need to say much. No one is going to argue this point. So, Els, over to you on your number 6, Mr. EK.
Yeah, fair point. Number 6 for me is Undertaker. Probably could have been a bit lower down, but you know, enough said about him. He's just incredible, and yeah, number 6 for me.
My number 6 is Edge. Now, not Adam Copeland Edge, but just Edge. from the moment they came in as the Brood to when they did, for everyone's benefit of flash photography, everything was great with Edge, and just a massive respect for the guy.
My 6 is Funky as on.
Oh my god! We should have said this Clay.
When he had that little dance with horns on the ring, when he did a little break dancing. And he walked out with Naomi and who was the other girl?
Cameron.
Cameron.
We tried to get a pink counter where the woman was upside down.
So good. She was so good in the ring.
Fun fact.
He was terrible in the ring.
Fun
He
fact,
couldn't even move.
Cameron, when she was on Tough Enough, she was asked by Stone Cold Steve Austin what her favourite match is. She went Melina versus Alicia Fox, which left Stone Cold stunned.
I'm not surprised because that was
And
probably
just-
a shit match.
You know, if you're back next week, we might have to rethink your contract.
So, for those who are wondering, Rubes does look a bit like Brodus Clay, has the brain of Brodus Clay, and that's why that opinion. Exactly, and that's why that opinion has come up where that has. So, moving on. Going to go into our top 5 now.
Oh,
We're kicking territory here, people. And speaking of kicking, it is the man who punts better than an NFL kicker himself. It's Randy Orton. Don't need to say much. Randy, what a guy, legend killer. When he just turns heel, when he punts people in the head. I have never been, or rather, should I say, hated someone more than I used to hate him when he went around kicking people in the head. I mean, he's amazing. I think he is true to his word at the moment where he says that he's feeling better than ever. He's wrestling better than ever.
that's called steroids.
No, he's not
I
steroidal.
don't think it is.
Look at him, he's not steroidal.
No, I think there's
Compare him
obvious.
to when certain people were on steroids, no way.
I think he's too healthy.
Yeah.
He does
to be
look
that
very
guy.
good.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll leave it there
I'll just
with
say Scott Steiner.
exactly, and
Yeah, fair
we'll leave it there with Randy, and we'll give it over to EK for his number 5.
Number 5, the man, John Cena. John Cena is my number 5. Now,
Can I just say, I really thought you were going to say the man that Gravity forgot there and go for Neville, and I was going to be
I mean,
possibly throttling you.
he was a favourite of mine back in the day, but no, look, John Cena number 5 could have been a lot higher, but for me, I just kind of got fed up of him beating everyone and everyone putting him over. To be perfectly honest with you, it was just a bit annoying growing up. Obviously, I loved him when I was much younger, like 10, 11, when he was coming into it. He was brilliant with the fans. He's incredible. But he's the 5 moves of doom. Oh, come on! It's just
You're just wrong here, but
it's just
it is what it is.
it's just
We'll give it-
it's boring.
We'll come on to Cena. I'm
Bruce
sure.
spoilers, Cena is not on my list.
That's a
I
shambles.
have many reasons. All I'll say is Cena wins lol. That's all I need to say. But my number 5. Are you ready? It's the game. Triple H. This man, you at times you hate him, times you love him. You just have the reign of terror from 2003 to early 2004, where he wouldn't lose the title that he was just given by Eric Bischoff, but it just made you hate him more. And what he's done now for the business is just amazing.
Can I just say, if we weren't in EK's spotless house right now, I would be doing the thing that Hunter does with the water because I can do it very well. On that note,
Come on,
over
we've
to
all
Rube.
tried it in the shower.
Exactly,
We
Rube's
will have.
number
You can't
5, my friend.
So
Controversial.
no, he's in another promotion at the moment. But my number 5 is Daniel Bryan.
Oh,
He was actually part of the first WrestleMania that I watched. I still, honestly, it's like amazing because everyone remembers it, but he did get screwed over the match versus Sheamus with the bro kick that lasted like 3 seconds.
Mm.
The kiss of death from AJ Lee. I think it's ridiculous.
I mean, I think
the whole thing.
anyone would have
I think the whole thing was just ridiculous.
tapped out.
Oh yeah.
He got screwed over. The match had lasted so much more, but the whole thing with Kane, the yes, no, just everything about Daniel Bryan was so good.
You just contradicted yourself because you didn't like that when Kane did it.
Yeah.
We've got to bark here, folks. We've got to
Daniel Bryan made
It's
it work.
fine.
He made it work.
It's fine. Moving on to number 4. Again, I'm possibly going to get myself crucified here. I've gone Stone Cold at number 4.
At least he's in your top 5. I respect
At least
that.
he's in the top half.
And with Stone Cold, just again, so many memorable storylines over the year, whether it was trying to ram people down on his ATV, four-wheeler, whether it was attacking Vince on his hospital bed, middle fingering, flipping everyone off, the beers, we've all tried it with the beer cans or,
Wasted many t-shirts trying to imitate him.
Exactly. He is amazing. He will always be amazing. He will always be one of the biggest legends. I really wish in some ways he didn't start the what, because American crowds just do not know what being a crowd is like.
What?
But it is what it is. Anyway, moving on to EK's number 4.
Yeah, number 4. If you smell The Rock. If you guys didn't know,
I do smell, and it's called EK's Wind.
there you go. Yeah, you know what? The Rock, number 4. He's one of my favourites of all time. I had to get him into top 5. He's not in my top 3, but there's reasons for that. I think his new stuff is, as Jay-Z said, it's unnecessary. But otherwise, one of the ones that got me into it growing up, and I respect him a lot.
My number 4 is the dead man. Rest in peace. The Undertaker. We spoke a lot about him. I don't think the streak should have ended, and just one of the all-time greats.
So my number 4 is Roman Reigns.
Oh,
I do think his gimmick, lasted too long. About just him being the big dog. I think he shouldn't have main evented so many pay-per-views but that was during his time. But he got us through the pandemic with his just him being awesome. But that could have been down to Paul Heyman because the whole gimmick worked. But I thought Roman Reigns is amazing.
Our Lord and Saviour. So, that leaves us at the, what I'm sure will be very controversial, the top 3. So, again, possibly about to get myself RKO'd through this table.
I can kick you in the nuts from where I am, to be fair.
Proceeds to move chair back. Number 3 for me is the current face of the company, and it's not Roman Reigns. It's the American Nightmare, Mr. Cody Rhodes.
That is a...
So many things to say. I'm going to try and keep it quick. I think, 1, the way that he had to go away and reinvent himself, similar to Drew, but I think
cry me a river.
But
he had to get his own company to get over.
But literally, just on a much more incredible scale, I think, he was down bad at a very bad time in his life, particularly with Stardust. I think everyone knows all about that, and it was a rough time.
I didn't mind him, actually.
I think the way that he has carried his father's legacy without trying to be his father, sensational. I think coming and winning the title for his family, sensational. I probably controversially think it actually should have happened at WrestleMania 39. I think is when he should have beaten Roman.
I agree with that.
The reason being because I don't buy the fact that it was always going to be Cody versus Roman at 40.
It wasn't. It was going to be Roman.
Precisely. And therefore, if that was going to be the plan, that was fine. I think they should have put the belt on Cody in 39 because I think the match of The Rock versus Roman is big enough anyway. It didn't need to be over that title, or they could have split them in the brand split and then they could have had the other title, whatever way you want to go with it. I just think he is fucking phenomenal. I think he is so good. I think he gets so unfairly criticised. I think it is so hard to work your way to be the top of any single company. And the way that he's done it, again, he's a hard worker. I value that. I respect that. So for me, Cody is at number 3. And he's also just, he is the right person to lead this new era, particularly as they kind of go into Netflix and they remove the PG.
Look, no, I do not disagree that Cody Rhodes should get complete respect. Okay, the only thing I disagree with in terms of Cody Rhodes at the moment is that his title reign is so boring. It is so. Honestly, he is so much better as a challenger than he is a champion, which is just the truth.
I
with Elliot.
I don't agree with that. I also don't think he has had a single bad match.
It doesn't matter about the match. He doesn't have any kind of when you look at hold on. Okay, when you look at him as a champion, you look at Roman Reigns at the beginning when he was the champion. There is a clear difference in terms of one looks like a star and one looks like he's just there.
I feel so personally attacked right now. I just don't know.
Am I wrong?
I do agree. I mean, Cody's reign has not lived up to what you expect. It's by no means bad.
It's not bad. It's just boring. There's nothing's happening.
It's like there's something missing.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, when Randy eventually turns heel on him, and they have a really, really good feud, then maybe I'll change my opinion.
I'll finish on this, and I think we spoke about this at Bash at Berlin. And just before, when I asked you guys a question, I said, "Does anyone think Cody might be the one to turn heel tonight?" I think he needs a heel turn. And I love him as he is now, but I think get him back to his proper American Nightmare roots. I think get him heel, and I think you will see him fly 10 times more. I would love to see him in the heel role. I think him as a heel, Seth potentially as a face would be an unbelievable match. I think Cody is so...
Rollins Road has been done.
They've done it before.
But I just think it would be brilliant. But also, I just also think, plain and simply put, is a guy who will and can make anything work with anyone, and he will make a success of that match. But at the very least, you will not be saying that was a rubbish match.
No, you know what? What I will say, one thing, and this is it before, and then I will go on to my top three. In terms of, he's definitely grown on me since he's come back to the company, because his first couple of matches, they weren't smooth. I mean, they just weren't. And now he's getting a lot more smooth. He's getting a lot more time, which is definitely helping. But I think he still needs to do a lot more to get into my top 10. Now, number 3 for me, it just has to be the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. I mean, he is just an absolute star. Hasn't been a star the whole time, but I think the fact that because of how badly his first character was in terms of being the big dog, and it just didn't work because no one liked him as a face, going to becoming a heel, and now all of a sudden, not really out of nowhere, obviously it's been a build over time, now becoming, he will be the biggest face in the company. He will be a bigger face than Cody Rhodes as soon as he comes back, and it's just going to be so natural, and that's why he has to be in my top 3.
I mean, yeah, I agree with everything you said. My number 3, man we've already talked about. It's The Rock. This man was my childhood. You know, I came in just after the Survivor Series Deadly Games when he was a heel. And just this man, it's just, to my eyes, can't do anything wrong. Was his recent stuff good? Maybe not, but he's still enjoyable to watch and listen to. And the man could sell me anything, let's just be honest. Put him in that room with a microphone. And yeah.
My number 3 was also, that was just around when I started watching wrestling. It's CM Punk. I thought he's brilliant on the mic. He had the title on. He was also pushed by Paul Heyman from the start. The go to sleep. The honestly, the crowd reaction when he returned at Survivor Series was just incredible. It was just honestly incredible. I still think he shouldn't have lost the title the way he did, but when the Shield was introduced, when he lost the title, who was it to? It was to
when he ran away.
When they said restart the match, it was against The Rock.
I can't remember.
Was it The Rock? It must have been The Rock.
It was The Rock or
general manager on the computer and stuff.
It was The Rock because The Rock grabbed the mic and said restart the match.
Fun fact: CM Punk came up with the idea for the Shield.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Probably wanted to be in itself though.
No, it was supposed to be Roman Reigns. It was instead of Roman Reigns, it was supposed to be Cassius Ohno.
No, I do remember that actually.
Yeah.
Interesting. Listen, Punk for me, I get it. He's not in my top 10. He wasn't in my honourable mentions, but I do get it. Like, completely. Rubes, for once, I will not disagree with you. And number 2, on his day, I see clearly, Edge for me.
See clearly now the rain is gone.
Wrong song, you idiot.
I had to sing it.
Listen,
Please don't copyright strike.
just not much needs to be said when it comes to Edge. You know, I think the grandpa did a really, really good job of that earlier. For me, not technically part of the Attitude Era, obviously sort of that era afterwards, but I think he screams attitude is the best word I will use to describe him. I've never seen him make anything bad out of anything he was given, and that includes his love, his one true love. Excuse me, please! Vicky Guerrero herself. I mean, he is incredible. I mean, he was everything. He knew how to be face. His work as a heel, obviously. I don't think anyone will ever soon forget the SEX show with Lita and the way that all ended, and just everything with her in general. Obviously, that's a whole different ballgame, but you know, I just think, literally, nice. I just think everything he did is amazing. Obviously, his work with Christian, I love Christian. He's obviously not in my top 10 and he's not in my honourable 5, but just he is amazing. And on that note, we've probably said everything we need to say on that one. So, EK, number 2.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, my number 2 is Daniel Bryan, but this is purely from WrestleMania 28 up until probably about WrestleMania 32, 33, when he was in...
Before he did the weird environmentalism stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I actually liked that as well, but it's not why I liked him. I mean, look, Daniel Bryan for me is the... He was just reminding me of me. I mean, I fell in love with him. Thank you. I mean, I don't have to beard for it, but look, WrestleMania 30, one of, if not my favourite ever moments in WWE was when, at the end, when he lifted up the title. I have a poster of him in my room with that exact photo. He was just incredible, and yeah, he's my number 2.
I find it fascinating so far that we've not matched on any of our numbers so far.
No.
It tells you how diverse the world is.
I think at least one person will match on their number 1.
I'd be very surprised.
Now, no, I don't think anyone will have my number 1.
I'm just surprised no one else had Brodus Clay at 6. You know what I mean?
Why even little 10? Enzo and more, right?
Yeah.
My number 2 is just, I'm going to say it, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's just the man. Without him, without Austin 316, we wouldn't have WWE today. It was Austin 316, which led to the beginning of the Attitude Era, which led to the death of WCW. Austin versus McMahon was awesome. Just everything about him. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
My number 2 has been mentioned before. I just want to add a few. It's The Rock. I think he's incredible. He main evented, or in my opinion, 2 Manias against Cena. I still don't think he should have done, or like the whole gimmick was about them two. He's amazing on the mic. I still remember the song he puts on her makeup.
Oh yeah,
with Vicky Guerrero. He's so good. It's so good on everything. Honestly.
And then she asked me, "Do I look alright?" And I said, "No, bitch, you look horrible tonight."
So I think, in terms of The Rock, this is the last thing I will say on that. I think he is probably the greatest ever on the microphone. Probably, for me, it's 1A and 1B with my number 1 in terms of being on the microphone. But
Reuben,
I think
1A, 1B with Enzo and more.
that's also true. Going into the number 1s, for me, there's one clear choice.
Here we go.
It is indeed himself.
Shut up, you walrus.
It is the soon-to-be record holder, the man who deserves, a long time ago now, I might add, to have beaten Ric Flair's record. He should have beaten the record a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
He is Mr. Hollywood himself. It's John Cena. I'm not going to labour on it. I just think, take the wrestler aside. I think we talk about, we've spoken about what does a top star look like, who should be a top star. I think a man who has his very clear downfalls in life. Yes, we know there's been issues in terms of like his personal life and how things transpired with Nikki Garcia and all of that. However, the man, the time that he gives back, the dedication to things like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, to being the guy.
I think he said that he gives, or at one point was giving, I think it was like 15, 16 hours of his day up. You know, this was a guy who was living check to check, pizzas. You know, he's spoken a lot about it on talk shows over the years. You know, face Cena has been brilliant. You know, my favourite will always be Thugonomics. I think it will always be everyone's favourite memories of him, if I'm truthful. So unique, so incredible on the microphone. Again, that's what I mean when I say 1A, 1B, probably with The Rock. I don't want to gush too hard because, you know, I've been going on quite a while, so I'll give it over to EK for his number 2. But listen, whatever anyone's thought on him, everyone will always have a thought on him. He transcends wrestling. He is one of the few that I think has genuinely done that. And I think that is to be commended. That is to be applauded. And I think the wrestling industry undoubtedly is a better place because of him.
Oh, 100%. Like, we're going to miss him when he's gone. And I think just before I go on to my number 1, I think we've identified who's the president of the John Cena fan club right here. Yeah,
Can't see him.
No, I can't see him beyond that anyway.
I do have one thing. There's one question that everyone's asking about 2025. Will we see the return of Juan Cena?
If we don't see the return of John Cena, I doubt we'll see the return of Juan Cena.
There you go. Pitch it to Hunter now that Santino.
Hunter, if you're for some reason listening to our podcast, please make sure that John Cena and Juan Cena
NXT have got a relationship now with TNA, and the fact is they've been using his daughter as now being the official representative, which is so clever.
Right, so we've come to that time. My numero uno. Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass! Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I cannot look past anyone else because he is by far the one reason why I got into wrestling in the first place. And I miss him every day.
What? This person I put as my number 1 is a real personal favourite of mine. He's my hero. This man literally given his body for wrestling. He ended up with a tooth inside his nose. He's been thrown off the Hell in a Cell. He's had his ear ripped off against Vader. I'm talking about Mick Foley, Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, whatever you want to call him. This man is my hero. And this man, I mean, the guy could barely walk because of what he did. And I just love him. And
you do look like Mick Foley, to be fair.
I take that. That's just a huge compliment. Bang, bang!
So, again, listen, Foley's not on my list. As everyone will know by now, he's not on my honourable mentions by now. But Foley, again, I think so unique, so diverse in terms of what he did. And before I make the mistake of passing it over to Rubes to round up this list, only Foley, in my opinion, could have come out as the same character 3 times in one night and got away with it.
My God,
with a different feeling each time, and people treating him differently. And for that is to be respected. Again, that is to be applauded. The man has given his life, his body, his brain, all of it to serve and entertain the masses. So although he's not there, and although he went out, in my opinion, a bit as sort of Stephanie McMahon's bitch before he kind of took over, amazing, just an amazing guy. And Grandpa's got one more thing he wants to say.
Having met Mick Foley when I went to see one of his live shows, he is as nice as he appears. He made time for every single person who was there like to come and see him, have a picture, get multiple things signed, and the man is just a treasure.
I think it's fair enough. So this is the point on the podcast where we're going to start playing the Benny Hill theme tune. And Roots, over to you for your closing number 1 sentiments. Do not make me regret this, Squire.
Do not let us down, mate. Come on.
My number 1's been mentioned.
Bonk the cloud!
It's been mentioned.
Fingers crossed for Vince.
It's been mentioned, and that's just because I grew up.
Is it Shane O'Mac?
No, it's just because I grew up with him. I'm pretty sure I had a wrestle with him as a kid. As one of his in-ring action figures. It was John Cena. I think he's incredible. But as I mentioned, the stuff he does for charity is insane. The way he bigs up wrestlers like LA Knight. My favorite thing about John Cena was when he took on the Authority. I love that whole gimmick when he when they made the whole authority figure. It was against Triple H, Steve Man, when Seth was on the authority team. And I still remember that the whole scene of you need a fifth member of the team and they bring out Ryback.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if any of you remember that.
Feed me more.
Because,
Or Vince McMahon on a plate.
Because I remember the whole scene, the Big Show's music hit, they thought they were getting Big Show as the fifth member, then he cuts to the authority, and then Ryback just comes out, and everyone just goes wild because it's Ryback.
Whacker!
A sentence I'll never be heard again in the history of wrestling. Everyone goes wild for Ryback. My one, as much as polarising John Cena is, I can't put him on my list because of just the fact that he basically killed one of the greatest stories of all time, the Nexus. That brings him down a bit for me. The fact that everyone, even Edge and Randy were saying, no, you've got to put them over. And he was like, no, let me beat them. It's fine. And it killed them stone dead.
You know what? I think, I can't agree with it, but Rubes, for the first time tonight, I will not RKO you through the table.
I'd like to see that, to be fair. I'm not sure you can get up that high.
Maybe if we get our first 100 subscribers, we might do it.
I'm pretty sure your version of an RKO will be what Tommaso Ciampa has been trying to do to Randy Orton for the past 4 months.
Valid. So, very interesting. I think we clearly have some very different opinions, and some similar in some cases. But I think, we've been respectful, we've been true to ourselves. Some of us have been funnier and more passionate than others.
Downright absurd.
Absolutely.
This is just one of the things that come.
Exactly. So on that note, EK, I'm gonna hand it over to you. But before I do, thank you for listening. And if you like it, share it with your wrestling fan friends. It's a big community here, and we're relying on you guys to kind of also join in, have some fun, tell us politely, pleasely, how we can improve and what you think we can improve. But yeah, EK, over to you, mate.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. Please come back next time. Are we on any socials yet? Or we
not yet. We've got the emails for now.
So stay tuned for the link in the bio for all socials and anything where you can listen to us. And if you have any questions or wanted to kind of run anything past us or any ideas for any new podcasts or episodes, let's put it that way, please email us at wowrestling24@gmail.com.
I'm expecting a lot of Reuben related emails. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Goodbye.
Keep listening.